Here's your daily dose of fitness, food, and fun. Angelica's Daily Surprise starts now.
Do you want to?
The older I get, the more I'm going to just be like that.
Okay, we'll stay a little bit away from the model kind of esque facial expression, like the little Zoolander over there.
How do you think I did? Do you think I get the crown?
We'll find out soon.
What? Hello there, welcome. Today I have the absolute honor of featuring this stunning specimen, Angel Battelle, into my apartment. And not only is she a pageant queen and coach, but she's probably a lot smarter than you, than me, than all of us. But I'll let her tell you a little bit about that. Surprise! Today she's gonna teach me how to rock that gown so I can get the crown. Hey, do you think I'll be successful? We're about to find out. Welcome, Angel.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, so where do we begin? I want to find out a lot about you, too. So let's start walking. We can walk it and talk it.
Sure, sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do it. So for your evening gown, you want to be very graceful and show that confidence.
Okay.
And so let's start off with changing over the transition from we just did swimsuit and it was very high-paced, high energy, sassy, fun. But evening gowns, all about being elegant, floating, being mesmerizing. I think you got this.
Okay, all right. I think I've got elegance in me somewhere. Let's go.
All right, so we're gonna start off with our first pose. We'll do a T-stand again.
Okay.
So we will pose, hold that pose.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, 5's the magic number.
I'm gonna show you another pose too.
Okay.
So another pose that you could also do is you could also do the hip pose. So that's like putting your hand on your hip.
Okay.
Yeah, you could also do that. And then you also have the rib pose, where that is just under the rib as well.
I like that.
So you have 3 different combinations. So do you want to
The older I get, the more I'm going to just be like that.
Okay, we'll set this one for you. And so maybe what we'll do is we'll do the T-stand first. When we get right to the front, we will do the hip pose.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah?
I like that, like, nod.
Yeah. And then when we come back, we'll close out and then we'll do the rib pose.
Okay.
Want to do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And so with facial expressions, we want to make sure that we're really keeping those eyes locked into the judge's eyes. And it's less of a supermodel walk.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day with pageants, the clothes aren't wearing you. You're wearing the clothes. So your personality really does matter. You want to make sure that you're smiling, engaging with your eyes, and you have a variety of different facial expressions that you're using. But I would say to stay a little bit away from the model kind of esque facial expression, like the little Zoolander over there, and more of, different varieties of smiles.
Yeah.
Smile with your mouth closed, smile with your teeth, smile with your eyes. So let's play around with that.
Yeah, and let's do that right now. And I want to find out more about you, more than I actually want to walk. Like,
Sure, so why don't we could chat a bit about that, and then let's go into the walk right after.
Okay.
Yeah?
So not only are you a pageant queen and coach, but you have a doctorate.
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh, tell me about that.
Yeah, so
How do you have all the time?
It is so interesting because I never thought that I would become a pageant coach. I was a pageant competitor. And the interesting thing about pageants is that I think it actually has an opportunity to showcase that women are multifaceted, that we don't need to be just one aspect in our lives. We don't just need to be a pharmacist. We don't need to just be a beauty queen. We could be everything and anything.
Yeah.
And it's about being well-rounded as well.
Yes.
And so to go back in time, I started competing in pageants 21 years ago as a teenager.
Wait, but you're only 21.
No, I'm not, but thank you.
Oh my gosh. She was doing the runway as a toddler.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Wow. So that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So I started very early.
Okay.
And the one thing that I would say that pageants allow young girls and women to do is to have a lot of ability to be self-reflective, have ability to dedicate yourself to personal development, and connect with your community too. I've done a lot of work for a variety of different organizations around Canada even, and the world as
I've
well.
seen that. You have a list of like you've volunteered, you're highly educated, and you do all this pageant stuff, and you carry it all with such grace, and like you are something to aspire to be like.
You're so sweet.
And you horseback ride, and you can canoe.
I don't think that was in my bio. I think you're mixing that up for somebody else's bio. But I can do that too. But I wouldn't say I'm an expert in that. Where did that come from?
I'm like, oh, I thought you rode horses.
I'm like, what?
Because
I'm like, is this somebody else's bio?
I love how honest you were about that. You're like, if I was you, I would have been like, yes, but we're not doing that today. Next time, you're just teaching me how to walk.
That is hilarious.
Like this.
But maybe what I can get into is like how I got started. So maybe ask me how I got started, and then I will kind of touch on everything else kind of in that way.
All right. Okay, here we go. So how did you get started?
So I started 21 years ago competing in pageants, and it wasn't at that point that I recognized that I wanted to start pageant coaching. Growing up, I was raised by my grandmother who had immigrated from India to Canada, and back then, women did not have equal access to an education.
No.
My grandma was actually illiterate, and so I remember going to kindergarten and learning the alphabet. And when I'd come home from school, I would teach my grandmother the alphabet. And that was the first opportunity in my life that I recognized I love teaching and coaching and mentoring. And later on in my life, I decided to become a pharmacist. My grandmother had gotten quite ill, and I wanted to make an impact in healthcare. She had passed away actually a week before my licensing exam, but it was through that I recognized that we each have the power to treat each and every person the way we'd want our own family members to be treated. And later on in my career, I decided to pursue my doctorate in pharmacy. I did some teaching for the Manitoba Institute of Trades and Technology. I also was a guest lecturer for the University of Manitoba. And during my doctorate in pharmacy training, I also had an opportunity to work with and create education materials for the Faculty of Medicine at the University of Calgary. So education has been such a large part of my life. I've done it in a university level. I've taught also as a pharmacy manager to employees ranging from a variety of ages up until the age of 65, and starting very, very early on, as I mentioned, my grandmother. And so it was actually a transition point in my career where I was in between jobs and I decided to start pageant coaching. And it wasn't truly until that moment that I recognized that this is my purpose. I was meant to do this. Through pageant coaching, I've actually taught a legally blind contestant how to walk. I've also been able to motivate and coach a woman who was pregnant to compete in a Mrs. pageant. I've had students from 5 years old to 65 years old in pageants, and I think that the impact of pageantry and the impact of being a coach is so much more than nailing the runway, an interview, or a swimsuit. It's literally those life-changing moments where you make women recognize and believe that they could break any glass ceiling. And I think that's my favorite part about being a pageant coach.
There's all of that rich history to you behind your walk. And I think that's another thing to keep in mind. As I'm learning to walk, yes, I'm in a gown. How do you move your hips? But it's about owning who you are and carrying everything that you've accomplished in your life and letting that naturally shine through your eyes and your smile, because the pageant smile itself has the reputation of being like plastered on, but you're so real and genuine, and I think that's why you found so much success in what you do, because you have been motivated by your family member to pursue an educational path that's taken you to some amazing places, and then that education is feeding into you directly touching people's lives through this medium. And I'm just so happy you could be here today. You're an inspiration.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, let's walk like doctors. No.
Like beauty queens.
Like beauty queens.
All right.
All right.
So we're going to start off here. We're going to do our counts, and then we're walking like we're slowing down time.
Ooh, moving through peanut butter. Oh, you do the double pivot. Very nice.
And we could even do another back look. And let's do a turnaround and do the rib pose.
Rib.
And now let's leave. And we'll do the hip pose last.
Hey.
Great work. How do you feel?
I feel feel good. We did do swimsuit in the last one. And in this one, I feel a little more confident, obviously, because I'm not showing half my butt to people. I mean, that's hard to do, right? For anybody. But this one, it just felt nice. And especially after our chat, I felt like I was moving through molasses.
And you felt like you're in the moment too, right?
Yes.
Just really savoring the presence of your performance on stage.
Yes, that's beautiful. Well, that's been Angelica's Daily Surprise. How do you think I did? Do you think I get the crown? Did I rock the gown?
We'll find out soon.
What?
The jury needs to tabulate their scores.
Oh no! Okay, so do I have to wait? Should I do it one more time?
Let's do it one more time.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll hear from the judges here. Okay. Ready?
What do you think, guys?
I like
Is
this
this
rib.
the winner?
How'd I do? How did I do? How did I do? Is it who's the judge? Where are the judges? Do you think
They're
I won?
right there.
Did I win?
You still have to earn it. So we have one more segment, which is the Q&A.
Oh, okay. I guess I got to talk a bit more then. All right, so it's not over yet. I've done swimsuit, I've done evening gown, and now I got to do the Q&A. And then you might give me the crown?
That's
wow.
right.
She's making me work for it. I love it. Okay. Guess you're going to have to come back again some other day to see if I'm successful in my pursuits. That's been Angelica's Daily Surprise. Bye.